Hello, everyone. My name is Elijah Kim. I'm a co-founder of Clive Systems, and today I'm very excited to be interviewing one of our most recent successful clients, Nathan from Waterproof Roofing, who was able to go from before working with us, he dealt with a lot of just chasing leads, running all around, calling Angie, Yelp, trying to just drum all this work himself, having to share leads with other contractors as well, right? Biggest problem he was facing, to now 2.5 months after working in our program, has closed over 9 deals in our program, more to come, 128,000 in revenue, and we just calculated it on this call today we had. His LTV to CAC ratio is 3.3 to 1 in net profit. So we're looking forward to, continue increase in ad spend and, dominate the market. And yeah, they joined me today. Nathan's joined me to talk more about how they're able to do that. So thanks for coming on, man.
No, thanks for having me, man. We really appreciate it. We've been very blessed to have the opportunity to work with you and go through the journey together. So we're looking forward to the future and very excited to see what you guys have in store.
For sure. Yeah. First thing I'd like the audience to know, Nathan, is can you tell us a little bit just about the story, your guys' market, what business you guys have, what you do?
So we are predominantly focusing on roofing. We do a lot of residential work. So a lot of what we were doing was contacting people through Angie's, door knocking, canvassing, all that fun stuff. And with the new age and the online realm,
Yep.
it's put up a big, it's made things easier in certain ways and dated the traditional means. So we, kind of pivoted and started looking towards alternative solutions, and we found you guys, and here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you expand a little bit more? Like, what was your main mode of marketing before? Like, how were you kind of getting work?
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, just kind of like what everyone else does. We have the yard signs, we have guys walking around canvassing, doing the door hangers, knocking on the doors. Word of mouth is obviously the one you'll never be able to beat.
Right.
We would be posting here and there on social medias, but we never really pushed like any funding or ad spend behind any of that stuff. So it was really just all traditional, dude. Like, walking around wearing the hats
Yeah.
and putting up the yard signs, man. That was
Right.
pretty much yeah.
And what would you say is like the biggest problem when you were doing that type of marketing, right? What would you say the biggest problem you were dealing with in the business at that point? Like what would you say that would be?
Yeah, I think at that time, the biggest problem that we were having was just finding that balance between going out there, doing the work, also drumming up the business. We're a small company, we're not huge, so in terms of manpower and finding the guys to actually relentlessly knock on those doors with the door hangers or, relentlessly just going out and trying to push the brand by asking, hey, can we put a yard sign out here? Or, just all that stuff. That's daunting. And I think really the only person who can really take that on is you, the business owner, because
Mm.
at the end of the day, it's your business.
How
No
did
one's going
that
to care about
how
that.
did that kind of like make you feel at that time, like, feeling like all that kind of responsibility?
It's a lot, man. It's really hard to be able to focus. At that point, you're working, what's the word? What's the saying? It's you're working in it and not
In
on
the
it.
business, not on the business. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're really trapped in just like the day to day of like waking up, going through the process of making sure production's good, and then also making sure you're drumming up new business, and then keeping track of your follow-ups. All of that stuff becomes a mess very quickly,
Mm.
especially when you're just a one-man show or you've got your team, but your team doesn't know. It's all about just keeping it organized and yeah, man, it's been night and day to have you guys come on because you guys are our CSR now. You guys take the calls, you guys deal with all of that. So it's been a real blessing, man. It let us focus on what we needed to focus on, which was selling, and
Yep.
we did 128,000 in revenue in the last two
Yes.
months, just about. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what would you say is like, how does Clive Systems, like our program, compare to other lead generators or marketing agencies you've used in the past?
So I think of the main thing, and I didn't really touch on it, was we were using a lot of Yelp and paying for the
Mm.
Angie list ads, all of
Yeah.
that stuff. And just alone, the Angies have two different systems, and it's very confusing. So jumping between that is difficult, but also, you're getting five other contractors are getting the same lead.
Mm.
So, you're calling the customer and they're like, "Ah, yeah, who is this?
Yeah,
Which company did they call me?"
I
Like,
don't know
they're
who
all
it is.
complete. Yeah, and God bless them. The old people just they're like, they just don't know. And so
Yeah.
when it's something that they're online and they're going through and it's like we generated that lead. We didn't buy it, we generated it. So I think that's kind of the difference
Yeah.
between the different lead generations that we were using.
Yeah, like the exclusivity of the fact that you guys have all the leads to yourselves. We never, of course, ever share with other contractors in the area, and you guys, yeah, have that lead for yourselves. Yeah, it's definitely a big
Yeah,
problem contractors will face nowadays. It's just the headache of having to deal with all the competing with this one lead that within 5 minutes they get 10 phone calls from 50 different roofing contractors, and yeah, it just becomes a bidding war. Yeah.
yeah.
What would you say in your?
It,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say it is a bidding war for sure.
Yeah.
It becomes a real mess, especially for them. They're trying to get a bunch of estimates. So yeah, it's definitely a lot nicer to just have it organized the way we have it now. So
Mm, yeah.
yeah.
What would you say in your own words, Nathan? What do you love personally most about the program and why?
I love my calls with Elijah, man. They're amazing. I love jumping on with this guy, and he's always got a smile on his face, showing me my KPIs, seeing where I'm at with ad spend. There's obviously a lot of things that we still need to kind of improve on, which is just mainly the reporting bit for our side, and a few other things. But for the most part, it's been nice being able to just say, like, especially the onboarding, we were like, hey, here's like all of our material. Here's kind of where we're at in the market with like our competitors and how we're positioning ourselves.
Mm,
And then you guys pretty much just took that and ran with it. Now that we're in that successful stage of the bit of the journey, we're really looking forward to pushing out different types of ads and really getting the brand out there, and absorbing all that exposure that we can get.
100%. That's the biggest thing, especially nowadays and where we live in the age of social media. Having that differentiated brand, like you said, is it's a pillar to be able to separate, the roofing businesses that make it and the roofing businesses that will fall behind, right? And so that's a big part of yeah, why we take what we do super seriously. Speaking of results, right? We like to go into some of the weeds as far as, um and of course, the success we've seen with the program. I believe we were reviewing earlier in total in tandem. We've booked, I think it was over 60 opportunities, right? You guys have met 60 opportunities in the last 60 days. And then out of those opportunities, I believe we closed nine and some more pending somewhere around then, right? Um, uh,
Yeah.
do you know approximately how, if you feel comfortable, out of those nine jobs, generating, yeah, how much revenue did that generate? And if you don't mind sharing with the audience, how much net profit that also generated?
Yeah, I think, and I still kind of touching back on earlier, I think we're a little bit more than the nine. But I think off the top of my hand, dude, just thinking about like where we've been at in production the last couple of weeks, our last couple of months, let alone, we're probably at around 150 to 200 revenue. In terms of profit, take home, we are normally operating within a 30 to 40% profit, just depending on the job scope. So I'll let you do the math because you're a lot smarter than I am on
I'm the math
that.
guy.
Yeah, but overall, man, we're very happy with the results. I think steadily over the last couple of weeks, we've been aggressively increasing ad spend as much as we can without crashing out the whole system. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to reporting seven-figure numbers within the
Yeah.
next year. So
That's the goal because we want, of course, once we find that proof of concept with all of our partners, we're like, at what point does it make sense now? We're seeing these results to build that plan of progress, right? That path to scale to continue hitting bigger and bigger numbers every month. So well, I'm also very excited to see where the partnership lies. How would you say in your own words, Nathan, for you personally, how has your life changed personally, whether it be in your day to day, whether it be even how you're, just operating in the business since getting these results and having this transformation?
yeah, I think the big thing for me, especially just acting as the CEO in the whole organization, it's been from kind of starting from the ground up, man, where when we met, like we were knocking doors, I was managing canvassing team. We were making sure that we were regularly having like a revolving door of leads. And it was just, it's stressful, man, because you have to be on the guys like, hey, you're out there, right? You have to share your location with me so I can make sure, like
Yeah, I love
this
that.
kind of stuff, just things that you do not need to do to be, a real efficient operator. So um, I think just to kind of closed the door on that whole concept, man, has really changed my life in a way that I don't really have to worry about the leads. I just know that Elijah and Mike and all those guys, they're on top of it. We just focus on our process, which is the sales. We have production down. We can't grow the business without the sales process. So it's really given me the opportunity to like pull back from, like we disbanded the door knocking team. That's not even a thing anymore because like we're too busy running appointments because of Clive. So the main thing, man, is like we're able to focus on the business now. I think that's kind of the life-changing aspect of it. Pulling away from working in it and more so working on it. So we're improving systems, we're getting organized. There was a big boom in the volume of leads, so we're still playing catch up in the whole like making sure follow-up process is there, making sure that, we're actually executing on that process and going through and, not only serving the community, but also making sure that we're taking care of our family, like in our team,
Yeah.
because without our team, we're not going to be able to get to that next level. So,
1,000%. Yeah.
yeah,
It's ultimately about
changed
the,
my life, bro. Yeah,
yeah,
especially.
man. I'm very honored to hear all those words. I know this might be a crazy concept. This next question might scare you a little bit, Nathan. Might be a crazy concept to think about. Where do you think you would be today if you hadn't joined the program 2.5 months ago?
I don't know. I don't think we'll really ever know that alternative. In regards to am I glad that we're here? Yeah, 100%. I think that I would probably still be at the point where we would be trying to find somebody or we would be trying it on our own to kind of maybe do what you're doing, but not nearly as good.
Hmm.
I think when we were going through and you knew this, like we were looking for someone, we're looking for a
Yeah.
partner to kind of help us with the online stuff because I've done it, but I don't like it and I'm not very good at it. So um, you know, find people to do the stuff you don't want to do, right?
Hmm.
And that's where you guys came into place. And, we went through and talked to multiple different companies about same stuff. And you guys stuck out like a sore thumb in regards to how you guys are just organized. You are the communications there anytime that we need something or that something came up with a lead, we text you in the group and you or one of the team members are pretty much on it, dude. So
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of hope that answers your question,
Yeah, that was
but
no, that was good. Yeah, and it's kind of like the quote I think of is like leveraging other people's expertise, OPE. And that's kind of
yep.
like that concept, right? Because it's like, yeah, I know I could do it probably myself or try to figure it out, but that what you don't maybe consider is like the time, the money, the energy, the attention that costs to trying to figure it out on your own rather than just like I just pay somebody else to do it for me, right? So awesome, man. I got one last question to wrap up the call to finalize everything. So let's imagine right now, Nathan, there is another roofer or roofing business owner or someone else watching this video that's resonating with what could be said. And let's say they're on the fence about, booking a call with us or taking that next step to speak with us about the program. What would you say to that person?
I would say the first thing that came to mind is make sure you're not my market. Other than that, man, I would say, what do you have to lose? You're going to jump on a call and you're going to talk with them about what your situation is, and they're going to kind of create and tailor a solution to where you're at and where you're trying to go. So I would say do it. And what's the worst that happened? You spent 20 minutes. I mean, come on. So yeah, man, you got to take that leap of faith, invest in yourself, and I think that's really the concept that we had when we started with you guys.
Mm.
Um, and now it's paying off. So
Yeah. Heck
yeah,
yeah, man. Thank you. And
yeah.
yeah, hope do not be in Nathan's market. That's the only exception.
Don't be in my
Yeah,
market.
that's the only thing. Yeah, but we appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you, Nathan, so much. This is I really thoroughly enjoyed this interview. And if there's anyone tuning in right now, watching the interview right now, thank you for, watching and listening in. And if you're interested, right, if you're on that fence and you're interested in working together, just speaking to our team more about what we could do for you, then go ahead and click that button below, book that call, take that next step to see what game plan our team can draft for you and see how we can help you on your situation. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nathan, and we'll talk soon.
Sure. See
Awesome.
you, man.